Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
Last night at Fenway Park, we had high drama late in the ballgame. Adam Simmer got out of the 7th inning. Then in the 8th, it was Brad Hand striking out Jackie Bradley to send it to the 9th. And then it was Cody Allen time, hanging on for dear life. A white knuckler right to the finish, and a fly ball to Michael Brantley, ending the game and preserving a 1-run Indians victory in the series opener here in Beantown. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. A thrilling series opener. It's a 4-game series, so a lot of baseball still to go between these two ball clubs. But the key last night for the Indians was they beat them with the long ball. I mean, the Indians' home runs that's how they got on the board, and they kept it rolling.
Well, the outfielders have been doing a terrific job, and it started with Michael Brantley, the 2-run home run that ties the ball game up. He goes deep. He's had a very good month of August, so that gets you in touch with it. And then how about this? When you look at Greg Allen hitting the 2-run home run, and he gives you the lead. Now, he's not a home run hitter, so that was surprising. But when you look at these two guys, Brantley in his last 14 games, a .373 average, 12 runs scored, 8 ribbies. And Greg Allen, 13-game hitting streak. He's been playing very well for the Indians. 2 HRs. The other one was the walk-off against the Houston Astros. So he doesn't hit many, but the ones he hits, they count.
All right, so it's game 2 in this 4-game series coming up here at Fenway Park. We'll be back with the first pitch coming up in just a while. Alan Jensen are up next with the showstopper, and we'll hear from Andre Knott straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by Cleveland Clinic Express Care online. Tap the app for 24/7 virtual visits.
Dog sausage, steak or chicken here? How many guys? 2 what? 2 hot dogs. What do you need, Phil?
1 sausage,
I need your pepper.
yes, sir. It's the only way to get it.
But very comfortable temperature-wise, and should be a beautiful evening for baseball in Game 2 of this 4-game series between the Indians and the Red Sox. You know, once upon a time, leadoff hitters were little guys who would get on base, try to steal, try to produce a run with their speed more than anything else. But over time, leadoff men have changed. They have become more dynamic than ever. And with more on that, we go downstairs to Andre Knott and our Hear Right sounds of the game.
Well, when you say dynamic and you say leadoff hitter, the first guy I think of is Ricky Henderson. When you talk about being able to steal, hit a home run, change the game and all in one bat. Today, in the game that we have with Mookie Betts as well as Francisco Lindor, we may have two of the most dynamic leadoff hitters in baseball, and it was fun to talk to some Indians about what they can do and how they're changing the game.
Teams are putting their best hitters at the top of the order. Like we were just talking about in the AL, it almost makes even more sense because you can put a leadoff type guy at 8 and 9 if you want to set the table for your leadoff guy. And the more you get a Frankie Lindor up to the plate, the better off we are as a team. You know, and you know, he's arguably one of the best leadoff hitters in the game, like you said. And obviously they have Mookie Betts on the other side, but you also have the personnel behind them to do that. And these two teams do. So it's, you know, it's not just the leadoff guys. It's a very deep lineup on both sides.
When you go to a ballpark and you got a leadoff batter who's going to get about 5 plate appearances a game, you want that bat to get up at the plate because they can change the game with one swing, and not just by getting on base, which is also another threat. Because obviously you can watch Mookie and Francisco, their threats are even steal bases as well. So that's like a double threat right there.
And that's what you have in Lindor and Betts, guys that can hurt you in so many different ways.
Yeah, they are two of the best. Springer comes to mind and a few other ones, but I'll tell you what, these guys are a treat to watch, and they can do some damage. Well, let's take a look at the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, Nathan Eovaldi, who's it was a nice trade acquisition by Boston. He's 2-0 and an ERA of 1.99 since they acquired him from Tampa. And his first 2 starts came in this ballpark. He threw up 15 shutout innings and got 2 wins.
The Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor, then Michael Brantley having a big month of August. Jose Ramirez hitting third. Yandy Diaz, Yonder Alonso, Melky Cabrera in the middle. Jason Kipnis, Yan Gomes, Greg Allen. It is the exact same lineup the Indians ran out there last night in the series opening win. Nathan Eovaldi, a fireballer, and his first pitch is a called strike at 99 miles an hour.
Well, it's going to be a power arm tonight. You can see 99 is the first pitch. He's got a cutter that he uses, which is about 92.
Fastball misses just outside.
Eovaldi in his career 2-1 against the Indians. He's pitched in 3 games, but 2 starts.
Ball was 96 miles an hour. Did you see how much movement it had?
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's scary. He's gone through 2 Tommy John surgeries. He missed all of the 2017 season. Also, when he was a junior in high school, he had Tommy John. And he's still throwing like this.
Broke his bat, it sounded like. Popped up foul ground. 1 away. Our storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Nathan Eovaldi, he'll hit 100 miles an hour. Question is, can he throw enough strikes to make it effective? And Shane Bieber, the rookie, on the big stage here at Fenway Park. One down in the first, and Michael Brantley steps to the plate. Brantley is batting .344 in the month of August. And the reason I bring that up is we have, understandably, focused a lot of attention and a lot of conversation around the seasons of Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez. But Rick has pointed out a number of times they can't do it by themselves. So that's why it's important that a guy like Michael Brantley, as steady and as consistent as he has been, he's picked up the pace here in the dog days of summer.
Well, and he usually will. He's that type of hitter.
Right back. Oh, my goodness. Eovaldi able to make the play. 2 down.
Took a hit away from Michael right there.
Did that get on him in a hurry?
Let's check out the defense for the Red Sox. It looks like this. It'll be Benintendi in left. Bradley Jr. is in center, and Betts is over in right. And on the infield, it's going to be Nunez at third, Bogarts at short, Kinsler is at second, Moreland at first, and Leon doing the catching.
That came off the bat of Michael Brantley at 103 miles an hour, so you know it got on top of Eovaldi before he could even
Well, now
think.
he knows what it feels like to see 103. He's throwing to the hitters. But he took a hit away from Brantley.
Another look.
Look at, no one's up the middle. That ball would have been in the center field. You think about the shot Porcello took in the ribs last night, or in the stomach.
Jose Ramirez quickly in the hole, 0-2. The Red Sox really handcuffed him last night. He was 0 for 4. And a weak topper right back to the mound. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians, and the Red Sox are coming to bat.
Start against Boston, and being here in Fenway, he's the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. He's 6-2. He's 2-0 on the road this year. I hope Bieber has his secondary pitches tonight, because he's going to need him against this lineup. Although he's never faced him before, let's hope he's got it all together.
The Boston starting 9 for manager Alex Cora. They shook it up a little bit, a little different than last night. Mookie Betts still the leadoff man. Andrew Benintendi is batting second, but Mitch Moreland batted third last night. They dropped him down to 5. They move Xander Bogaerts into the cleanup spot, and they get J.D. Martinez up there batting third. So just a little different look for the Red Sox, a team that has dropped back-to-back games and has not lost 3 in a row since April 21st through the 24th.
Well, it's the first time they lost 2 in a row since the end of July, July 24th to 26th.
Mookie Betts, the major league leader in batting average, hitting .344. He's trying to do something that hasn't happened since Hall of Famer Wade Boggs led the majors in batting average back in 1988.
Well, that's what Shane's going to need tonight, is secondary pitches to be effective, the changeup, the breaking ball, and move his fastball around to this lineup. But then again, like we said, it's the first time he's faced him. They don't know him yet.
Drilled and foul.
This can be a very intimidating place to pitch. This is going to be a breaking ball they want away, but he's going to have to keep it out of that part of the plate here with that monster in left field. He hung that breaking ball, but he pulled it foul.
The right-hander's 1-2. A little low. That'll even the count. Betts was 2 for 5 with a double and a run scored last night. Boy, that was a good-looking fastball and did not get the call. Full count.
Take a look at it on a Nissan pitch tracker. It's going to be that fastball down and away, and it's a where you go. How can those guys lay off of that? But they are that good.
Out of play. In addition to leading the majors in batting average, Betts is 9th in the American League in home runs. He's 3rd in doubles.
Right behind Frankie in runs scored.
Oh, he took a fastball right down the heart of the dish. And Shane Bieber strikes him out.
Let's check out that Indians defense brought to you by Chrysler. It's going to be the same as last night. It'll be Brantley in left, Allen in center, Cabrera over in right. And on the infield, it'll be Ramirez and Lindor on the left side, Kipnis, Alonso on the right, and Gomes doing the catching.
That was really interesting, Archie. You mentioned, you know, he's never faced them. They've never seen him. As Betts left home plate, the on-deck hitter, Benintendi, was talking to Betts. As Betts got to the dugout, the next guy coming out, J.D. Martinez, he was talking to him.
Sure.
Just, yeah, what do you see? What's the ball doing?
What does this fastball move? What's the breaking ball like? Absolutely. That leadoff man will go on, and he's going to develop the information before they get into the batter's box, if they can.
Andrew Benintendi looks at a ball outside. It's 2-0. Benintendi was 1 for 4 with a run batted in last night. Bieber catches the outside corner with a fastball. Benintendi doesn't like it. It's 2-1. The Red Sox left fielder made a terrific diving catch in left field last night,
which took Greg Allen away from a hit.
Yeah, we had great plays all the way around. There was good defense we saw last night, clutch hitting, the long ball, drama in the ninth.
Very entertaining game, and I'll tell you, when you talk about people too, everybody, even here in Boston, that was a fun game to watch.
Yeah. And a ground ball to second base where Jason Kipnis throws him out, 2 down.
Well, for Shane Bieber, he's going to have all of his stuff tonight, the fastball, slider, curve, and changeup. And he throws his fastball primarily 58% of the time. That slider, he's going to have to locate that and maybe get him to chase it. The curveball is 15% and the changeup is 4%. And if it's working, he may want to use that more to the left-handers. We'll just see how he commands the baseball. But we did see last night now with J.D. Martinez, who's hitting here, Cody Allen pitched him very well in that 9th inning. He elevated the fastball to him and was able to get him to where he couldn't catch up to it.
There was a low fastball right at the bottom of the zone for strike 1. J.D. Martinez leading the majors in home runs, runs batted in. He's 2nd in batting average in the American League to his teammate Mookie Betts. Otherwise, as you said, he's in the triple crown race.
Absolutely. That's going to be a tough guy to catch, too, for batting average. Although this guy is a tremendous hitter.
That fastball just a bit low, 2-1.
He showed you the hit zone for him yesterday. Anything middle and in, for the most part, he's deadly. You got to keep it away, but you can elevate it to him.
Boy,
there you go.
Took advantage of an aggressive count for Martinez, and he chased one, 2-2.
You see, this Red Sox team, they were talking about also today too, when late in the game where they weren't able to score, he pulled the string on them and he swings. They've never faced these guys before, Sipper, Hand, and Bieber. You know, and this is going to be a learning process for them as this year goes on.
Swung on, just did get a piece of it to stay alive.
You know, anytime you've never faced a pitcher before to know what his pitches really do, they'll be filing it back in their memory bank. of all the pitchers that they're going to face this series that they have never faced before.
J.D. Martinez was 2 for 5 last night with a double and a run scored. And Bieber missed outside. Full count. Corey Kluber found out last night early in the game, even with 2 strikes, you can throw a pitch off the plate, and some of these hitters can still go out and get it and make you pay. Pulls it foul.
Well, that's why it's essential that they do pitch inside or in off the plate to move them back.
Boy, and remember later in the game when Kluber went inside to J.D. Martinez with that 2-seam fastball, and he swung like maybe he's never swung all season long.
It was like that swing he took here against Bieber on that breaking ball in the 3rd pitch. But yeah, you gotta use both sides of the plate. These guys are too good of a hitters to stay in one area.
Fastball right down the middle. And J.D. Martinez caught looking. Bieber fans a pair. Side is retired in order. Scoreless after 1. Beautiful night here at Fenway Park in Boston, where the Indians and Red Sox are scoreless after 1, getting ready for the 2nd inning. And it's going to be Yandy Diaz leading off for the Tribe. Diaz, the designated hitter, 0 for 4 last night. And with Edwin Encarnacion ready to come off the disabled list, it'll be interesting to see what the Indians decide to do. I mean, if you listen to Terry Francona, it's pretty clear how highly he thinks of Diaz and the potential he has offensively. But that doesn't mean if they're looking at the roster for the next week or so, they might have to send him back. Because when Edwin comes off, Arch,
he's got to play.
Where's he going to play? Yandy doesn't really fit if Edwin's healthy.
And that's coming soon. Looks like Thursday Edwin will be activated most likely.
There's a line drive into left field for a base hit. And Yandy's going to hold with a leadoff single. And Andre, that's the thing though. You hit, they usually find a place for you, don't they?
Well, in most situations, if you hit the ball and hit the way Edwin is, or the way that Yandy's hit it, they keep you. But you guys just said it. With Edwin coming off the DL, there's not really a position or anywhere to put him. The one good thing is within, 10, 11 days, it'll be September 1st. And Tito said that at that point, they probably will bring Yandy back. But you'll run into the same situation for most of September until the team feels like they can give him those at-bats at DH.
Well, there's nothing he can do about it except when they put his name in is go out and hit, and he's done that.
Now Yonder Alonso, who takes a strike. Yonder was 1 for 4 last night. He's had a good year. It's just in the month of August, he's kind of spinning his wheels a little bit. I'm sure he's not the first, won't be the last player to go through a struggle in the month of August. And here's what he's done this year with men on base. That's the clutch that you love to see. But in 18 games this month, he's hit 171. Players go through ups and downs at different points throughout the season. But Arch, what is it about the month of August that it can kind of jump up and bite you sometimes?
It is. It's a tough month to get through. I mean, you get to the All-Star break and it's fine. You get a little breather there, and then, you know, it's a long year, and it just seems like August can. It's almost like up with everybody.
September, you can see the finish line, but August, it's still too far away, and it must be just mentally more than anything.
I think mentally, yeah, you could be drained more so than physically. It's just a long season, and some players it doesn't seem to affect. I think with everyday players, though, it's time where they can use a day off here and there. But can you afford to give it to them? Sometimes here with the Indians, you certainly can. You know, with the Boston Red Sox, you certainly can. I'd be curious to see if Sale would be on the DL if they were in a race or anything and they needed him to pitch.
Right.
You know, I mean, so.
They have the luxury
correct
of being able to make sure he's healthy.
Not like they do over there in the American League West for anything.
Yeah. That division is still wide open.
Oh, my
dead
goodness.
heat at the top of the standings heading into tonight.
Yeah, and you look at things for the best record too, and the Indians are 3 games behind those guys in that situation for home field. So, and they're still, we're not even into September.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, you know, incentive for everybody to keep playing hard.
Alonso goes down swinging. Off-speed pitch by Eovaldi, got him. First strikeout for the Red Sox right-hander. Stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. And the Indians have turned it around on the road, something, I mean, big time. Look at that, 16-4 in their last 20 games. Why? They're scoring.
Yeah, look at that. 2-1. They're outscoring their opponents. Extra base hits, and with the way their pitching is, if you put runs on the board, there's a really good chance you're going to win most of the time. And this is one guy that's really been playing well. You know, he's sort of flying under the radar. And last year they talked about Jay Bruce, you know, that pickup and what he did. This guy's, if you look at the numbers in the games played, he's right there with what Bruce did for him last year.
Well, Melky in his last 27 games since he rejoined the club after they had him earlier, released him, cleared waivers, went back to the minors. Since they called him back up, last 27 games, he's batted .299, and he's driven home 13 runs now in his last 8 games.
And he's hit the long ball a couple times, back to back, as a matter of fact.
Out of play.
Grand slam on Sunday. Left the yard from the left side of the plate yesterday. This guy's always been able to hit a fastball. He's played well in this ballpark. And there you can see 4 homers his last 8 games, 13 ribbies.
Up high. I said it at the time last night. You know, his home run got the Indians on the board. And I wondered out loud, would that give the team a spark? Because sometimes a solo homer doesn't really do anything for a club. I think last night it did.
It did, because, you know, that was the 5th inning. And, you know, after 5 innings, Boston had a record where they were unbelievable. Well, they beat them after you know, they were losing, trailing after 5 innings. And that was a line drive. And it got out of here in a hurry. They lost for the 5th time last night when they were leading after 5. They were 64-4 last night. They're now 64-5. And that certainly, it got them going. It gave them a little hope.
Yandy's off with a 3-2 pitch, and Melky sends one high in the air, deep left field. Back is Benintendi. He'll play it off the wall. He was able to deke Diaz, but Yandy's going to go around third. He'll hold there. He deked him, but then he kind of misplayed the ball, and I thought maybe Diaz would still have a chance to score, but they hold him up. So second and third, one out, and there is a perfect example of Green Monster Fenway baseball.
Well, and there you go. Now Diaz hasn't played in this ballpark. He was decoyed by Benintendi out there, where he's pretending he's going to make a catch and it gets off the wall. If you can read that a little bit better, he could score, and I still think he might have been able to score. It would have been close, although in left field he wasn't very deep. So Mike Sarbaugh held him up. This is where this ballpark is tough if you don't play here a lot and get to know it. That was decoyed.
Double number 8 for the Milkman, and now second and third, one out for Jason Kipnis. He had a fastball in there for strike one. Kipnis was 0 for 3 last night. And a smash to first, backhanded by Moreland, throws home, and they got him. Oh, what a defensive play turned in by Moreland at first base for Boston.
Boy, oh boy, he saved him a run right there. That ball was hit on the screws. They come inside, and now watch it. He turns and brought his hands in, and that was a short hop. He was going to go to the bag, but Yandy Diaz was off and running, and they get him at home plate. Just a beautiful play right there on the backhand side. A good strong throw to the plate and the tag, and he has him.
One of the things that the Indians have really done well, and the Red Sox do well, is run the bases. But here, because of the nuances of Fenway Park, base running becomes an issue here early in the game. That fly ball off the left field wall, Diaz had to pause. He didn't read it all that well. And then he's thrown out trying to come home on the ground ball. So an early scoring chance goes awry for Cleveland. Still an opportunity with 2 down, though, for Yan Gomes.
You got to pick him up here. It was just, I'll tell you what, give Moreland credit on that play. He picked that ball as clean as you can pick it and made a strong throw home to get Diaz. And unfortunately, it came after that double off the monster. So get a base hit, you forget about it.
Well, Yan Gomes batting .270 in the month of August. And a high pop to center. This will get him out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Middle of the second, no score at Fenway.
Went in a little bit more in the third, and just to make them aware of, both sides of the plate. Maybe that's the one thing that we didn't do great in the first couple innings, and that allows them to kind of maybe get the ball on those pitches that were just outside the zone, things like that. I think that inning proving that we were willing to come in maybe had a effect later on.
I said it last night, Rick, and I really believe this. Corey Kluber showed you why he's a two-time Cy Young Award winner last night, because Boston looked like they were going to lunch him. The first 2 innings, it looked like this is not going to go well. But he and Jan made an adjustment, and he stuck with it, and he ended up pitching shutout baseball the rest of the night for him.
He did not let them add on. And that's exactly what you do when you fall behind. And all 6 of those hits in the first 2 innings came with 2 outs. So they were just trying to put the ball in play, and they were looking away. So the second time through the lineup, he said, all right, I got to make a change. And it worked.
Shane Bieber struck out a pair in the first. He's got Xander Bogaerts leading off the second inning. Interesting in that Alex Cora moves him from the 5-hole up into the cleanup spot, because you and I both feel like this is a guy that is really largely overlooked around baseball because of the season that J.D. Martinez is having and because of the season Mookie Betts is having. But this guy can be a big difference maker for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's already has more doubles than he had last year. He has 77 RBIs. How do you get RBIs when you're hitting behind Martinez, who has 106, because he does all the cleaning up?
You're fighting for scraps.
Yes, you are.
Popped him up. And this should be Alonso backpedaling near the line. 1 away. Our great clip of the game from last night. 6 in the third innings. The 3 runs all came, as Arch told you, with 2 outs both times in the first 2 innings. We walked 1, struck out 6, just over 100 pitches in the 6 of the third innings. And the bullpen took it from there, because by the time he came out of the game, Greg Allen had already delivered the heroics and given the Indians the lead. But that was the most important thing, and you say this all the time. When you fall behind early, it's imperative that you don't allow the other team to score, and Corey enabled the offense the opportunity to kind of work some things out, figure some things out, and then they got to Porcello.
And it's funny, too, because in that first inning, you go back to it, and you think about the catch that Allen made. They already had 2 on the board, and you know what? If he doesn't make that catch, there's 3.
It's a runaway train.
There's no telling what can happen after that play. So those little things, when you get into a ballpark like this, when you're playing a team like the Red Sox, you have to, zeros the rest of the way and not let them score. And they were able to do that. They gave up 1 in the 9th, but that was it.
What a job Greg Allen did.
Oh, had a heck of a night here. He doesn't hit many home runs, but the ones he hits, they count.
Swung out and missed. Mitch Moreland goes down hacking, and that's 3 strikeouts for Shane Bieber among the first 5 hitters that he has faced. How about our Rocket Mortgage breakdown? Presented by Quicken Loans.
Yeah, look at the starters.
Starting pitchers, they've been good all season long.
Right.
But man, again, you get into the dog days and they're not showing any signs of slowing down.
11-2. The ERA is right at 2. 117 innings, 23 walks, 127 strikeouts. That's doing your thing. And I like Gomes right now. He's mixing it up with Bieber, in and out, changing speeds.
Ian Kinsler, 1 hit in his last 11 at bats.
Well, he made the last out of the game last night, and he had about a 8-pitch at bat, the full count. He popped it up and sort of jammed himself.
Popped up foul, and this will find the seats.
But when they went out and acquired Kinsler, you know something had to be wrong with Pedroia. Pedroia may not be back the rest of this year.
Grounded foul, third base side. That's certainly a tough blow for Boston. I mean, Tito thinks the world of Dustin Pedroia.
Right.
For him, he said he's as tough a guy, a harder worker, somebody that just willed himself into being a great player. But you know, you get to that point in your career and you throw your body around as much as he has, and it catches up to you at some point.
And he's not a big guy of stature where it can sustain a whole lot, but he's about as tough as you can get. Good pitch.
Rolls it to short. Lindor throws him out. The Red Sox go 1-2-3. And after 2 innings at Fenway, we have no score. Inning. Melky Cabrera doubles off the wall in left field, and Yandy Diaz got kind of hung up, didn't get a good read on it, can't score, and then he's ultimately thrown out. Another look, StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Yeah, from third to home, 4 seconds. That's not a good time if you are going on contact. But you can see the jump he had. He just the ball was hit hard, and I'll tell you, Moreland made a nice play. But it goes back to not playing in this ballpark a whole lot. And that ball off the wall, if he read it right, he probably could have scored, but it's not an easy play.
Greg Allen leading off here in the third now. A 13-game hitting streak for Allen. He's batted .383 during the streak.
It's the longest streak going right now.
And the longest streak by any rookie in baseball this year. Check, did he go? He did not.
You know, that's a nice streak, all things considered. I think the only time he's been out of that number 9 hole was that one Sunday when he let off and Lindor didn't play and he had a good day. Oh, go.
Leone. The throw just in the nick of time to get him one away.
Yeah, that ball needed to be out just a little bit farther. Leone made a nice play coming out on the run, just getting him at first base. Evaldi wasn't going to get there. And it's a catcher all the way. It needed about another foot and he would have been safe.
So 9 batters faced, 9 first pitch strikes for Evaldi. I don't understand how a guy with the kind of talent he has, with the thing you can't teach, the 99 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour,
yeah,
the fastball, how in the world he keeps getting bounced around all over the place?
Well, his fastball, I don't know. When they talk about spin rate, things like that, he would always give up a lot of hits. And he has very good control. He's only walked 11 hitters in over 80 innings of work. So he can command it. But, you know, I think this cutter he's come up with is really taken it to another level for him. He missed all of last year from that Tommy John surgery, so I don't know if he's worked on things or not.
Backpedaling, Bogarts, long throw, got him. Well, that was a nice play, because anytime a shortstop has to go into a back pedal, I think a panic alarm starts to go off, because they know they've got to get rid of it quickly. And he was able to set his feet and still got off a perfect shot to first.
Well, that's what you have to do when you're backpedaling. You got to make sure you're ready to throw as soon as you catch the ball, especially a guy that can get down the line. But shortstops, tremendous athletes, they know, and it's all about footwork.
Well, now Michael Brantley. He smashed one right back at Evaldi his first time up, but Evaldi was able to snag it and throw him out. Originally, Evaldi, a Texas kid, was going to go to A&M and play college baseball, but the Dodgers had drafted him in the 11th round. It took some finagling, but they finally agreed on a deal and signed him. But then they traded him 4 years later to the Marlins for Hanley Ramirez. And he fit in well with the Marlins, but after a couple of years, they traded him to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just never worked out with him in pinstripes. They ended up releasing him, and that's when he signed on with Tampa Bay.
Well, that happens to a lot of players that go to New York. Well, you know, this was I don't know, people I think were surprised that Boston went out and got this guy. Not only can he start, but, you know, come playoff time, if they're healthy, and, you know, Sale gets back, he could go to the bullpen.
Yeah.
Or another pitcher can go to the bullpen. They got Rodriguez on the DL, a left-handed pitcher that he's got great stuff when he comes back. So they can be loaded. And a nice at-bat there by Michael.
Well, that was 99 just off the plate, but Brantley's eye is so good that he's able to take that pitch. Player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. To take a look at Jose Ramirez, where he ranks among the majors. Since 1955, only 2 players have finished in the top 5 in all 3 of those categories. Those are 2 pretty doggone good players.
Well, I'll say. It's 2 of the greatest of all time.
Rip foul.
That's what Jose's got to do. This might be a formula for him, because he was really trying to, I think, because you're in here and you're facing J.D. Martinez, he's the guy at the home run title. He's trying to catch him. He was trying to pull everything last night and had a big swing. He's got to stay short. And with this guy, this could be a good remedy for him.
Well, for whatever reason, the Red Sox have seemingly always had his number. A career mark of just 224 against Boston pitching. No home runs and only
Really?
2 runs batted in. Wow.
Well, everybody has that kryptonite.
Checks on a ball that's high.
Chris Davis with Oakland hit his 37th last night to tie him with
That's a fair ball.
is it?
And the inning is over. So Ramirez woes against Boston pitching continue. Middle of the 3rd, no score. stay tuned later in the game for our Miller Lite Hold True moment. Let's go down to Andre Knott as Eduardo Nunez to the plate to lead off for Boston.
Yes, as Nunez comes to the plate, I was sitting talking to Brad Mills before the game, and we were watching him take balls at third base, and he looked at me and he goes, I've already told our guys, look out for Nunez tonight. He will want to play good against you guys. He's friends with Frankie and a few of the other guys, and they said, you remember the guys that were in your division. They get up to show that they still can play, and he says, I think that's one of the guys we have to watch tonight.
Well, to your point, Andre, in his last 10 games against the Indians, he's batted .439 with 14 runs batted in. Shane Bieber, 6 up, 6 down, has struck out 3. And a weak ground ball to short. Lindor throws out. Nunez 1 away.
Well, enhance your game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
That brings up the Boston catcher, Sandy Leon. 0 for 3 last night. Down in the dirt, ball 1. One up the ladder with a good fastball.
Good pitch.
Painted the outside.
Well, and it had a little run to it. That was a changeup, and it moved away.
And the 1-2. Got him looking. That's another Boston hitter, Rick, that took a fastball right down the chute.
Well, that tells you either they're looking for something off speed, you know, and they haven't faced him before, so they don't know what his getaway pitch is. He likes to throw his fastball. And you're right, it's a good pitch to hit, but this is the first time through the lineup. We'll see. It's been 8 up, 8 down. We'll see the second time through.
Jackie Bradley Jr. steps in.
That's why I say that when you've never faced a guy before and you're facing him for the first time as a starting pitcher, you're going to have the upper hand as the pitcher.
If you make your pitches.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Bieber is making his pitches, and he is slicing and dicing. 9 up, 9 down, scoreless through 3 in Beantown. Eovaldi has given up 2 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 1. And that fastball we told you can hit 100 miles an hour. But his cutter, Rick, is 94.
I know it is. It's ridiculous. It's better than most pitchers' fastballs, that cutter. And that's a third of the time. And then the slider and the splitter, I guess, is that the slow one? That must be what Diaz hit in his first time at the plate, because he really slowed it down for him.
This one is right at Mookie Betts. And Diaz retired 1 away.
But if he's going to throw first pitch strikes, I can see where hitters want to go up and take a good hack at it. And that one was only 92, so that must have been one of the cutter, because it can go from 92 to 94.
Well, up comes Yonder Alonso. Struck out swinging his only time up in the 2nd inning. He had squared the bunt. I don't know if his heart was in it or if he was just.
I would say the heart wasn't in it. Maybe he's just bringing him. Why he did that, I don't know. Or he was going to take all the way to get a good look at it. Because then after you bunt it, you're going to have to run.
Big bouncer to first. 2 quick outs. Baseball night in Ohio tomorrow night. Indians, Red Sox, Fenway Park. Carlos Carrasco, lefty Brian Johnson for Boston. Indians live with Alan Jensen begins our coverage at 6:30. First pitch at 7 on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Melky Cabrera.
He was trying to continue the RBI surge by the outfielders in the last 2 games. The outfielders have driven in 11 of the 13 runs scored by the Indians. And last night it was all the outfielders driving them home. All 3 hit homers.
Wow. Pretty good pitch. 95 outside corner, 0-2. And Eovaldi delivers. Cabrera bangs it through the hole.
There was the split.
0-2 pitch.
That had to be the split, and he did him a favor. And he kept his hands back enough to drive that ball just out of the reach of Kinsler at second base. So Milky is 2 for 2.
Take another look. This might have been a breaking ball. I don't know.
It was 79. Yeah. I don't know. It didn't have curveball on there if it had splitter, but the slider is not 79. That had to be a curveball.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because he's throw the slider too hard, so that's got to be a curveball.
You know, Terry Francona said something very innocent last night, I thought, about Melky Cabrera, but I think, Arch, you and I talked about this earlier. Feels like the second time Melky's come through, he's more comfortable.
I thought the same thing, Andre, and then I thought, I must be crazy. He's a veteran.
Right,
Kipnis
but it's true.
Rifles one into right field. Melky's going to hit the bag and head to third. And now the Indians have runners at the corners. But you're right, he does seem to have a more, I don't know, interpersonal relationship with his teammates.
Yes.
You see more conversations, more joking around. He does seem more comfortable.
When he first came, he knew Edwin because they had played together in Toronto, kept to himself, and it was almost like he was looking over his shoulder. Tito said that's not the case anymore. He's a part of the team. He feels like he's a part of it. He goes around and talks with the other players. He says, and I think at 7 o'clock that shows up for a player.
I've been told by a lot of people in Chicago and other places that he's a terrific guy in the clubhouse with his teammates, and he's good for the guys, so you guys might be right on.
I noticed that, you know, he went up to Yandy Diaz after that base running in the 2nd inning. Now, whether it was talking about anything or just, hey, keep your head up kind of thing, he was interacting with him. I think that you're right, Rick. That's a good veteran teammate. Here's Yan Gomes once again with a 2-out opportunity.
See how aggressive they're getting against him because he's throwing first pitch strikes. I like what Kipnis did. He could have had a hit his last time up that he was taken away, and he just hit a liner even harder the second time.
Yep.
And here goes Gomes with that first pitch. They're going to make him maybe change that routine, but all of a sudden 2 outs, and here come the Indians with back-to-back hits.
Low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
tell you, I like what the 4 through 9's doing against this guy. He's made quick work of the top 3, but at least from Diaz down, they've made him. Look at
Right
this.
back up the
There
middle.
you
That's
go.
going to get through, and the Indians will take the lead. Melky Cabrera scores. Yan Gomes delivers with the 2-out RBI single.
Oh, I love it a lot. When this bottom part of the lineup can do this. Nice 2-out base hit by Yan Gomes. 3 straight singles. The Indians are on the board and have a 1-0 lead. They have 5 hits now on the night, and there it is. It's a slider. Gomes stays back, and it gets into center field. That's going to give Greg Allen an opportunity. The milkman, he thought he was going to be buried there 0-2, and he gets a slow breaking ball, gets the base hit, keeps it going. And then Kipnis jumped on the first pitch. Gomes hit the third, so they've been aggressive second time through.
Greg Allen shoots
That's
one left
gonna
field.
go.
That's going to get down. It's going to go all the way down into the corner. Kipnis scores. Gomes into third. He'll stop there. The throw goes into second base, and Greg Allen is in safely with an RBI double, and it's 2-0 Cleveland.
And keep that hitting streak going. That's number 14 now for Allen. And this one sliced down the line beautifully. That was a spinner of some kind. Maybe that cutter that stayed out over the plate, and you can tell by the spin, and played nicely off the wall by Benintendi. Throws the second, made a heck of a lot closer than I thought it would be. But a double for Allen, a 2-0 lead.
Hey, Matty, I didn't check the notes today. Did they have anything about Greg Allen and extra base hits in there today?
Yeah, his extra base hitless streak was snapped yesterday. They alerted everybody to that. Second home run snapped a 72 at bat streak without an extra base hit. But as we've said before, you know, you have to be who you are, and Greg Allen is. Look, if you can't root for him, then you can't root for anybody. He's humble, he works his tail off, and he's taking advantage of the opportunity that is right in front of him.
People don't know how hard it is to have a 14-game hitting streak hitting out of the number 9 hole, because a lot of times you'll only get 3 at bats. Like I said, the only time I remember was at Sunday, where he led off. Not an easy thing to do.
Now Lindor, and he blasts one foul. Holy mackerel, jump on that.
These guys are swinging from the on-deck circle going up to the plate, man. They're letting it fly. I like it. This is the old C-ball hit ball.
4 straight 2-out hits here in the 4th inning, and the Indians are out to a 2-0 lead. Popped him up. This will get him out of the inning. In left field, Benintendi makes the catch. Melky Cabrera and Kipnis started it with back-to-back 2-out hits. Then Yan Gomes brings home the first run. Greg Allen the second. It's 2-0 Cleveland.
out there. A remarkable
And the odds
remarkable play.
that a ball is hit to the precise spot where Austin could run, jump, catch it, flip, catch himself.
Yeah,
I mean, the odds of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1
yeah,
probably.
I was just thankful I had a chance to see that play.
Well, Shane Bieber goes into the 4th inning. And so far, 9 up, 9 down, has struck out 4.
Okay, now it's time to see what the Red Sox are going to do. Their second time through the lineup. Now they know what Bieber throws or have a better idea.
Weak ground ball hit to short. Lindor charges. Throws him out. Well, Dan Otero, you just saw, he was on the mound when that happened. Andre caught up with him to get his thoughts on 1 year ago.
Oh, without me, he never caught it. You know, I mean, I threw the perfect hanging slider to Hanley, and he belted it to right center. And when he went over the wall, I mean, it was just pure joy in my face. I think it's pretty obvious how happy I was. And then the more you think about that catch, it's just crazier and crazier. You know, he ran full speed from center field, covered, who knows, 80 feet or something like that, and then flipped over the wall with reckless abandon and came up with it. It was insane.
Yeah. And we saw him out on the mound say, wow.
Yeah.
You know, the only other time I saw a wow on the mound was Dennis Eckersley a couple of boosts down back in Cleveland when Manny Ramirez hit one. And
how come hitters never say wow? It's always pitchers.
Because they're watching the athletes do something.
Dan Otero.
Yeah. If it wasn't for me, he couldn't have made that catch. I hung the slider.
Andrew Benintendi fouls it back. I'll tell you, the Indians have been blessed with some just fantastic veteran free agents that have been just great guys, great people, good in the clubhouse, good players. Andrew Benintendi with the first hit of the night off Shane Bieber. He had retired the first 10 in a row before Benintendi's opposite field single with 1 out here in the 4th. that was Otero's reaction on that play.
He can't believe it. Yeah, he's looking at the whole situation, and he's just unbelievable.
Did he catch it? Did he hold on
well,
to it?
Well, that's what he's waiting.
Is it real?
He wants to see him come back.
Yeah. But, you know, I was thinking about Austin Jackson. And I'm thinking about Mike Napoli, Jay Bruce. Some of the guys that the Indians have free agents, whether, you know, trade, free
additions,
agents, guys that they've picked up who are veteran players that just fit right in. Because sometimes you get a guy and he doesn't fit. Boy, it's like grinding gears.
Well, that doesn't happen over here. They do their homework. They double check, man.
Runner bluffed to move towards second and then stopped. J.D. Martinez takes a pitch inside. Now it's 2-0, and Bieber has a little trouble here for the first time tonight. He's behind a dangerous hitter with a man on base.
Well, he fell behind Benintendi, and he took one swing, that 2-0. He's trying to, you know, hit it far, but then after that 2-0 swing, he settled down and he just took a base hit the other way. Double play ball.
Maybe 2. Lindor to Kipnis. There's 1 on to first. It is an inning ending double play. Oh, well done. Bieber gets the ground ball. Lindor and Kipnis turning. And after 4 innings at Fenway, it's the Indians 2 and the Red Sox nothing. getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. And by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. Well, it's 2-0 Cleveland. 5th inning. It'll be Brantley, Ramirez, and Diaz to face Nathan Eovaldi. The Indians come into tonight's game having won 8 out of 9 and 15 of their last 19 to get to 20 games over the 500 mark. And I think we talked about this last night as Brantley takes first pitch for a strike. The last 2 seasons, the win streaks, they were fun. Made it really fun for us to come every night. Lots of excitement to see if they can extend the winning streak, keep it going. But I think what they're doing right now, winning 7 series in a row, as Brantley socks one up the alley in left center field, that'll go to the monster. He one-hops it, and he'll cruise into second base with a leadoff double.
Boy, he can hit. He just plugged the gap in left center field. He's swinging a great bat in the month of August, and fastball away. He just stays on it. Pretty follow through. So Brantley will get his 31st double. There's your start to the 5th inning.
I think winning 7 consecutive series, if they keep that kind of a streak roll, it doesn't have the hype and the hoopla that a winning streak carries, but it's just as impressive.
The winning streaks, they're things of
They're
freak of
flukish,
nature.
yeah,
they really are. They are flukish. But the goal is just win every series, and that's 2 out of 3. That's what 660 baseball.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, the Red Sox are on a pretty good roll. They have not lost a series in their last 13.
10-0-3.
They got 3 splits, but still, that's also very
But these
impressive.
guys, well, like you said, they haven't lost 3 in a row. You know, since April.
Early April, yeah.
You know, so if you can beat them 2 in a row, it's saying something.
Jose Ramirez trying to get it going. Nathan Eovaldi thought he had a
yeah,
strike.
he did. He sure did. He looking in there, sort of wants to know where that ball was.
It did look pretty good. Yeah. It looked like it was in the strike zone, but he called on a ball. And Jose Ramirez has not looked like Jose Ramirez in the first 2 games so far in this series. Pulls that foul.
I mean, that ball was so far in off the plate, and he still got around to pull it.
Take a look at our Kia drive to success. Jose with 37 home runs. You see Chris Davis, as Arch told you earlier, he's moved into a tie. 1 back of J.D. Martinez for the major league lead. Think back to when we were kids, you used to make fun of your friends if they didn't hit a ball out of the infield. Hey, you can't hit a ball out of the infield. Well, Ramirez hasn't so far in this series.
Yeah.
6 trips to the plate, and he's got 4 pop-ups on the infield. I make that 3 pop-ups on the infield and a couple of weak ground balls and 1 strikeout. Just hasn't looked like himself. Now, to your point, maybe it's been a little overly aggressive approach trying to hit that home run to tie J.D. Martinez.
Well, I think he is getting a little pull happy.
Well, we saw this at the end of last year as well when he was trying to get his 30th home run. Remember, Matt?
Yep.
Kind of pulling off of everything. And
carried right on over into the series.
Right. And I don't think it's the J.D. Martinez thing, because he told me last week, I hope J.D. Martinez hits 200 home runs. And then he whispered, and I'll hit 201.
See that swing?
Out
of control.
He's 0 for 3. This was a pretty good pitch by Eovaldi, but
there's the split right there. Gets a 2nd strikeout. Now Diaz hasn't seen a fastball yet in his first 2 at-bats.
in the dirt.
Well, the scouting report on him is saying he's a good fastball hitter, so attack him in other ways.
Yandy Diaz with a base hit to left in the second inning, and then hit a liner to right that was caught in the fourth. The disappointing thing about the Ramirez at bat, and look, this is like complaining over little things for the season he's had, but in this situation, you want to see him at the very least get Brantley over to third base.
Yeah, you'd like to, absolutely. He still hasn't seen a fastball. That sort of surprises me. You're throwing 97, 98. I would think you could throw that fastball to anybody.
Oh, Diaz scorches one up the middle and a diving stop by Kinsler to throw him out. Wow. What a play by Kinsler. And there are two down.
Kinsler, I'll tell you what, the defense of Boston right there on point. That saves a run. Kinsler diving to his backhanded side, getting up and throwing him out easily.
That was another ball off the bat of Diaz. It was 108 off the barrel. Well, last inning it was the 2-out hit. This inning it won't happen. Alonso complains that the call was fair and the inning is over. Here's our cricket, something to smile about. Shane Bieber, he's given up one hit. He retired the first 10 in a row, striking out 4. And then after he gave up the one hit, double play ball.
Well, changing eye levels, changing speeds, moving the ball around. And I'll tell you what, it's nice to see him come out there. He's getting a little confidence now.
He's faced the minimum through 4, and on just 49 pitches, he begins inning number 5. Xander Bogaerts leads off for Boston. Swung on and missed. You know, since 1900, the Red Sox are one of only 16 teams to win 88 out of their first 126 games. Of those 16, there's a ball deep to center. Greg Allen back, and he makes the catch, slams into the wall and hangs on. And now let's check and see if he's okay. He appears to be all right. He slammed into that wall pretty hard.
He's fine.
But what a job by Greg Allen to get back and make the catch.
You can see his wrist is a little sore because he had to go back, but he hung on to it. And not an easy play. There it is. He was feeling for it. And that right side collided into the wall, and his arm was sort of pinned up. So he's got a little stinger in there, but give him a little time. He'll feel better.
Tito's checking with him from the top step of the dugout. Do you need the trainer?
You know,
no, says Greg.
He knew he was about a half a step away, and he thought he was going to get there a little quicker, but it was just a delay, and that arm got pinned up there behind him, so might be a little stinger in there, but it's a nice catch.
Wow.
Off the leadoff hitter to keep him off base. Beautiful play.
And again, the young man continues to just take advantage
That's
of
what
the
I was going to
opportunities.
say. He's feeling great.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's playing.
Andre, what did Raj tell Greg about playing center field?
You just talked about just the great veterans that the Indians have brought in, and Raj Davis could be one of those veterans that could say, hey, I want to play with the situation. But he went out there yesterday. He said, I know you've never played here. Make yourself more comfortable going back to the base of the wall. Yeah, it's big.
Here he goes again. Greg Allen on the move, calling off Brantley and making the catch.
And that's the other guy that he's been talking to about playing here. But Rogers has been great at talking to him about he told him, go watch the play Mookie Betts made in right field on you yesterday. He said, you hit the ball great. He goes, but he made that seem like an easy catch. It's not. He says that's because he's comfortable here and he ran to a spot. So Raj is trying to talk to him about running the spots once you trust your ability and trust your speed. And he says this place can be intimidating if you've never played here before.
Yeah, that's a good point. Run to your spot, because here you have protection in the left field wall where you can quit. But when you're going to straightaway center and in that gap in right center field, you better get there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he told me today that, you know, his approach and what they've talked to him about is the same one that you told me that you used 40, 50 years ago, which is let the monster be your friend.
Yes.
Anything hit there is going to come right to you off the wall. So where you've got to be, he said, you know, I've got to be alert. Anything hit toward right center, I've got to get on my horse and go
I used to play most every hitter on the second base side to protect that alley. And, you know, I had confidence I could catch the line drives or anything if it didn't get off the wall. But if it did get off the wall, it comes to you. You just got to, don't run yourself into it. But it takes a while to get used to. But it's good to know that they're talking about it. That was a fine running catch. And then he went right back out and called Brantley off the next one. I love it.
Ian Kinsler checks. You may have noticed too, the turf looks like it's fine. There are some dead spots out there in center field. They had the Journey concert here recently. They got Pearl Jams coming in early September.
Get into these baseball fields now, they're almost so perfect. It's like the
Wow,
baby.
Low dart, bottom of the zone. Shane Bieber has struck out 5. He's faced the minimum. He's given up 1 hit. And Greg Allen's throwing his body around, making some great plays. The only scoring came in the 4th inning. And with 2 down, the Indians came up with 4 consecutive hits. Yan Gomes, a 2-out RBI single, followed by a 2-out RBI double from Greg Allen. And that has been all the scoring. Shane Bieber has locked down the Boston Bats on 1 hit through 5 scoreless with 5 strikeouts. But still a long way to go, as we know, in this ballpark. Melky Cabrera will lead off the 6th. He's 2 for 2 with a single, a double, and a run scored. He has 5 hits now in the first 2 games of the series. And I would have to guess, because of his time with the New York Yankees, he's played more games against Boston than anybody else. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's not even close. Although maybe Edwin, his numbers aren't in here because he's on the DL.
Right.
And he's not playing.
Yeah, I would say Edwin in the division for years.
Rick Fowl back out of play.
And we'll probably see Edwin Thursday for the day game here.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Well, it was 0-2 last at bat before he got a 2-out base hit. He didn't slow that one down, did he?
97.
I can't believe he doesn't throw his fastball as much. I mean, he throws a lot of off speeds and cutters when he still has a very good fastball.
Now the wide on the 1-2, and Cabrera fouls it out of play to the left. We'll have to ask Jensen when he comes back here in the 8th inning. I think there is something inherent among all pitchers that no matter how hard you throw, at some point you want to trick him. You want to make the hitter look bad. And I think that's why some guys, as hard as they throw, they will still try to throw off-speed pitches in counts that don't make sense.
But still, this guy throws a boatload of strikes. With his fastball, look at this.
That ball's rocked. Deep right center field and off the top of the wall and gone. Melky Cabrera, home run number 6 on the year. His 3rd straight game with a homer. Oh, baby. This guy has owned the Red Sox throughout his career, and nothing has changed. That is his 12th career home run against the Red Sox.
Boy, oh boy, this kid, he loves it here. And that was another line drive. That hit the top of the fence and went over. And that's a cutter. Or that's, I'll tell you what. Look at it. It hits right at the corner and goes over the fence. So he is 3 for 3. He scored a couple, and the milkman is back. Look at.
Called a strike over the outside corner. That cutter, though, it looked like that cutter was literally tracking right into the barrel of his bat. Now Jason sends a towering pop to shallow left. Benintendi.
You know,
1-0.
Another thing I think about him too, when he throws a lot of strikes. You see, he brushed him back with the fastball a pitch before, and then he thought, there it was. That was a nothing. That was a spinner up there. I mean, even if it doesn't go out, it's still an extra base hit, and it stayed in, but it took the right bounce. When you're going as well as Cabrera is right now, it goes for a home run.
So far in the series, Melky Cabrera is 5 for 6 with 2 home runs. And remember, he hit the grand slam in Cleveland in the series finale. So 3 straight games with a homer.
Well, and take a look at the outfielders again tonight. He has 3 hits. Brantley has a double. Allen has a double and an RBI. So they have 5 of the 8 hits. The outfielders, they're playing.
Yeah. Well, it's time for Brantley and Greg to get out the home run bats. See if they can do it again. Swung on and missed. Gomes had a big hit, though. 2 out, RBI single in the 4th. As Rick has said, those are the toughest hits to get in the game.
3rd straight hit, though, in that inning. And then Allen was able to add one more to it. Look at this.
And Gomes shoots one into right field.
I'll tell you what, these guys, the bottom part of this lineup has had a great approach to this guy. Well, 12,500 fans will receive an Edwin Encarnacion bobblehead. It'll be courtesy of NOCO when the Indians host the Minnesota Twins Wednesday, August 29th. You grab a $15 district ticket. That'll be presented by Sports Time Ohio. Get your tickets at Indians.com or use the ballpark app.
Edwin down there on the bench. He was seated next to Melky Cabrera. He's got the sweatshirt with the hoodie top up, pulled up. He's very close to being ready to go. As Andre reported earlier, look for him Thursday in the series finale if all goes well. Joe Kelly, right-hander, up in the Red Sox bullpen. 3-0 Indians lead it. Greg Allen takes a strike. And Greg Allen shoots one right back through the middle.
Holy smokes, you talk about low bridging him.
From our vantage point, sometimes it's hard to tell just how close that comes to a pitcher's head, but it looked like Eovaldi feared for his life.
I thought it skimmed him off the bat, to tell you the truth. This ball, it's another breaking ball. Yeah, it just goes over his head, that's all. I mean, this guy, for as hard as he throws, I saw a boatload of breaking balls, and they're sending into the showers. They're a little bit early here in the 6th. 5 1/3.
Yeah, 5 1/3, and 3 hits in this inning, 4 hits in the 4th. And the Indians lead it 3-0. So the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made by Alex Cora for Joe Kelly, and we'll be right back. Three 3-0 Cleveland. Melky Cabrera talking home run ball with Edwin Encarnacion on the bench. This one was blasted, and it just hit the very top of that fence and doink into the bullpen. Nice catch by the fan in the front row.
387 and 1/10. It had the right spin on it. You know what I mean? To get out of there. But when you're swinging the bat like he is, you're going to get the breaks.
Well, it's funny. You were flashing back to the Austin Jackson catch of a year ago.
Right.
And that's pretty close to where he caught it. Joe Kelly on for Boston, 56th appearance of the year. Francisco Lindor 0 for 3. And how about that? A first pitch breaking ball in there for a strike.
Well, Kelly's another guy that can get it up there in the high 90s with a very explosive fastball. But you see the slider has a changeup as well. Indians, you'd like to get on the board and take advantage of it. 10 hits they had off of Valdi in his 5 1/3 inning, but they only have 3 runs on the board.
Yeah, Kelly is a guy that at times in his career he has hit 99, 100 miles an hour, but he starts Lindor off with back-to-back off-speed pitches, 82, 83 miles an hour.
How about this? Hitters 6 through 9 have 8 hits, 8 out of the 10 for the Indians.
There he came with the laser beam, but it's up and out of the strike zone. 1 and 2. Well, I don't know if it was Leone suggesting or Kelly watching, but his approach changed in a hurry. Instead of fastball, he went off speed. Showed him the fastball.
Slow the bat down and then get him with a fastball. Then speed it up on him. But and that's not a, you can go that way, but early if you throw that breaking ball, you better throw him for strikes so you can set it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you fall behind, then they can get a little more disciplined and shrink your strike zone.
Jan Gomes at second, Greg Allen at first. Indians trying to blow it open. They lead 3-0. Down goes Lindor. No, got a piece of it. Stays alive.
Well, there's a break. This is a good pitch down. Oh, I see that thing. Yeah, he did. He got enough of it. I thought it was close enough to where he had a chance to catch it.
Lindor out in front of that.
Let's send along some anniversary wishes. Happy 70th anniversary to Ron and Fern Albright of Rootstown. And a happy 42nd anniversary to Denise and Bill Bregman of Amherst. Congratulations.
Also happy birthday wishes going out to Stanley Guarini in Ashtabula. One-two on its way to Lindor. Slowed it down and he still gets a piece of it. Joe Kelly finally strikes him out. 2 down.
Start dead batteries with NOCO.
So after the strikeout of Lindor, it leaves it up to Michael Brantley if the Indians want to tack on a run or two to their lead. Brantley batting .344 in the month of August coming into tonight, and he's 1 for 2 with a double his last time up. Kelly taking way too much time. Brantley steps out. Upstairs with a fastball. Joe Kelly was a third-round pick of the Cardinals back in '09, and in 2014 at the trading deadline, the Red Sox traded John Lackey to St. Louis to get Joe Kelly and also outfielder Alan Craig. Brantley pulls it foul. Kelly had a little run in with baseball's dean of discipline this year. He served a 6-game suspension when he drilled Tyler Austin of the Yankees. Yeah, you have those things when the Yankees and Red Sox get together.
Well, they have for years.
There's a pitch called a strike.
Nice breaking ball.
You may remember that whole thing erupted over Tyler Austin when he went in with the questionable high spikes.
There you go.
Into Brock Holt.
Okay. Now you're refreshing my memory.
Well, Kelly's trying to get the Red Sox out of hot water here in the 6th, already trailing 3-0. The 1-2 to Brantley is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see. It did look like Leon was crossed up there.
You know, it looked like he was getting up to block a breaking ball,
Yeah.
and he got the changeup. The 1, 2, 3. I mean, they give you 3 different locations what sign they're going to use, so they switch him. And sometimes you forget.
The 2-2. Brantley shoots it into center field. Coming around third. Gomes will try to score. Bradley up with it. Throw to the plate, not in time. Down to second base. Brantley gets in there safely. And the Indians lead it 4-0 on Michael Brantley's 2-out RBI single to center field.
Bogarts is saying Brantley's out, but I'll tell you what, the run is going to score. A big 2-out base hit by Brantley. Their 5th hit with 2 outs. And it's a breaking ball. Another breaking ball that he lines right back up the middle. Michael's so short and compact, he doesn't matter. And now here comes a throw home, and then they're going to get it and throw it back down to second base. And Leon says, here you go. Let's see if he's got the tag on Brantley's hip. We'll see, but you can see where Jerry Davis was behind. He couldn't see it.
No, and Bogarts has already left the field. He's so confident.
Yeah, because he said he tagged him.
He didn't.
We'll see.
He did not.
No, from that
never
angle.
touched him.
No, right. That's a tough call. And I know Davis couldn't see it from where he was standing on the backside of that bag. So unless they have proof, I'll tell you what, I don't think that's going to get turned over. You can't tell from the center field angle.
I don't know what the fans are reacting to unless there's a different angle we're not seeing.
They're homers. That's, you kidding me? They're trying to intimidate him. I don't see the tag on that one angle that we had a chance to see. Now, if they have something that we don't, I don't think so. I think he's going to be safe, from what I've seen. See, the throw there beat him. Let's take our look. This is what we have.
No, he's
from that angle. No,
he is never in contact with Brantley.
I know, but when you look at it from the front.
Oh my goodness, they overturned that. What?
Go figure. They had to have another shot.
There's got to be an angle that we didn't see because we did not see the glove ever really in contact with Brantley when he had the ball. But bottom line is the Indians do get another run, and their lead is 4-0.
No, you see, that's what I was looking at before, but when we showed the reverse angle, his glove never did hit his hip.
I don't know, Arch.
I'm not convinced that was the play. That didn't prove that that glove hit
Based
the hip.
on what we've seen this year, if it's not really clear and convincing, they haven't been overturning calls. So that one to me takes a little bit of a leap of assumption. And then you start getting into dangerous territory with replay when you start assuming.
Well, they get the run. Another base hit for Brantley.
Another big 2-out hit for the Indians, too. This is fair. Down into the corner. Eduardo Nunez on his way to second base, and he'll go in standing with a leadoff double. It's only the second hit of the night for Boston. Not surprisingly, it comes off the bat of Nunez.
Well, breaking ball inside. He left that ball in. Not where you want to keep that breaking ball, and it speeds up his bat and he keeps it fair down the line. A lot of times that ball will hit and ricochet out and it'll only be held to a single, but this one was able to get all the way down to the wall. As that jettisons out there, that little wall. I've seen a lot of deflections out there where the shortstop could make a play and go get it.
Well, in his last 11 games now against the Indians, that's 6 doubles. He's got 2 homers, batting around .440. So not surprising that Nunez gets a hit for the Red Sox here. Sandy Leon called out on strikes in the 3rd. No action in the Indians bullpen. I mean, Bieber's only sitting at 61 pitches. He's been phenomenal. This is shallow. Charging in. Melky is there and makes the catch. 1 down. Let's send it back to Cleveland right now. Here's Al Pawlowski with a game break. All right, thanks, Al. Back to live action here as Shane Bieber checks the runner and deals outside ball 1 to Jackie Bradley Jr., who grounded out his only time up in the 3rd. And evens the count. You know, I was looking as we prepared for tonight's game. And when you look at these two teams, the Indians and the Red Sox, and especially look at the offensive numbers, Boston Boston number 1 in batting average, the Indians are number 2. Boston is number 1 in runs scored, the Indians are 3rd. Boston number 1 in hits, the Indians are 2nd. Number 1 in doubles, the Indians are 5th. The Indians are 2nd in homers, and Boston is 5th. So very good offensive clubs, both of these teams.
Well, they're 1-2 in stolen bases.
Popped up, fouled, and out of play. And you look at the pitching. You know, pitching, they're both among the leaders in several different pitching categories. I mean, overall ERA, Red Sox are 2nd and the Indians are 5th. I didn't have a chance to look at how their starters rank, but I'll bet they're right there among the top.
Indian starters are 2nd. I know that. The bullpen has inflated that ERA overall.
Fouled off the umpire. We got a piece of Brian Knight calling the balls and strikes this evening.
went in with that heater. Oh, right off the left shoulder. Ouch. And, you know, both the hitter and the catcher, they're going to give that umpire time until he feels okay. And you can see he told him, okay, I'm fine.
People think because you're wearing shoulder pads that you don't feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
You still feel it.
Go ask him tomorrow how he feels.
2-2. Boy, that was a good pitch. Didn't get the call. And now a full count. Bieber wanted that one. That's what you call a pitcher's pitch.
Well, he throws a breaking ball in there. Gomes says down. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Where Gomes caught it, it might not have been a strike, but where it went over the knees of Bradley, it might have been.
The 3-2 to right field. Cabrera makes the catch. 2 down. All right, now our guys have unearthed the look, the replay that we didn't have access to originally, and this might have been the one that got it overturned. Are you convinced there was glove contact there? I guess.
Yeah, I am, only because I watched Bogarts come off the field where he thought he knew he had him. But you see, that's where you can say the umpire, Davis, he didn't see it. Obviously,
No
he
way
didn't
he
see
could
it.
have, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I mean, that one I can live with a little bit more than the other ones that I saw.
That must have been.
That had to be.
And again, folks, we're not trying to cry poor mouth here, but the monitors we're looking at aren't nearly as good as the ones you're looking at home.
That's true.
So when you're looking at home, you might be going, these guys are. Okay, so.
What are you talking about? High definition 4,000. That's what we got.
I think they built these things somewhere outside and just brought them in.
We travel our own.
A couple of spare parts. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at second base, 2 down here in the 6th. Mookie Betts 0 for 2 tonight. But we have talked about him at length. This is one of the game's best hitters. #1 in the majors in batting average.
I'll tell you what, Bieber's been he's been in command tonight. He really has been dealing. Locating, changing speeds.
Grounded to third. Long throw for Ramirez. On the money. Oh, how about Shade Bieber?
Yes, this
serves up a leadoff double and then just says 1, 2, 3, inning over. We're moving on. Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio.
Season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards code is CLOSER. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
Well, the bullpen to this point has been quiet thanks to the impressive performance by Shane Bieber. As we head to inning number 7 now, Jose Ramirez leading off. He is 0 for 3 on the night. Now, I started to mention this earlier about Boston, and I was going to bring it up because of something that Chris Sale was quoted as saying last weekend. And I think Andre brought it up maybe when we were back home in Cleveland.
Right.
Chris Sale saying this is the best team that's ever walked the planet, this Boston Red Sox team. And hey, granted, the start they're off to, they have been historic because there have only been 16 teams, including this one, that have won 88 of the first 126 games. But interestingly, the last 5 that have done it, only 1 has gone on to win the World Championship.
Well, I mean,
so,
you can have a great year and
yeah,
win 100 like the Indians last year. And the bottom line is,
if you don't finish, nobody cares.
Exactly.
And of the last 5 to do it, Arch, before Boston this year, the Cleveland Indians of 1995 and 1954.
Right.
The Yankees of 98, the only team to go on and win it. Seattle in 01, of course, they have the all-time record of 116 wins. And the Dodgers of a year ago. Remember that amazing start that they got off to.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing in the Fall Classic. So,
well, time will tell. You can say whatever you want. You have to wait and see and play it out.
Did he go? He did not. And Jose Ramirez finds his way on base with a leadoff walk.
That's what you want to see him do. That's exactly what you want to see Jose do. Reach base, touch the base, make a left turn.
Now Brandon Workman making his 28th appearance of the year. Yandy Diaz 1 for 3 tonight. Of course, the other thing that you have in Boston that you don't have maybe in a lot of other places is how the media plays into the ups and downs of the Red Sox. So when Chris Sale made his comment that he's on the best team that ever walked the planet, Dan Shaughnessy, who's a longtime writer here in Boston, as the pitch is not in for a strike, the ball gets away, and Ramirez didn't pick it up right away. So he's in with the stolen base. He could have gotten a third, but I just don't think he
did.
Picked it up right away.
But a good center fielder, Bradley, he backs up and throws. Watch him break once they make the throws. Here he comes. He's breaking in from center field in case this just happens. And if Ramirez doesn't get up, I mean, instantly, then he's not going to get to third, but he steals his 28th base.
He takes over the outright lead in stolen bases among the American League base thieves.
And Workman looked like he had a big move or a slow move that they could run on. So he had a good jump.
Anyway, longtime Boston writer Dan Shaughnessy said of Chris Sale's quote, "Swell now if they can only win a playoff series for the first time in 5 years." Hey, yeah. The 0-1. Diaz, ground ball, cut off by the shortstop. Bogarts slings it over, but Diaz does the job. He gets Ramirez to third. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at El Canal. Yankees had to put Didi Gregorius on the DL with a left heel injury. Mark Trumbo, after the Orioles just left Cleveland, will spend 10 days with a right knee injury. Irvin Santana, that finger issue continues to bother him.
Yeah, well, you've got Posey done for the year now, too, out in San Francisco. They just said hip surgery.
Really?
He's going to need, yeah, and Upton. Wow. Justin Upton out in California. He's on the DL now.
Infield is in for Yonder Alonso. He's 0 for 3. Anybody buying that he cut his hand on a wine stem?
I don't know about that. Wine glass at home. We've heard some good ones.
Yeah, speaking of which, we need to work on a better story for you.
It's not going to happen.
The 0-1 pitch in for a strike to Alonso.
Well, Workman now has an opportunity to try and get him to chase with an 0-2 count. Because you've got the hot man up next.
Bounced in front of the plate. Good block by Leone. Keeps Ramirez at third.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. Get him to chase something out of the zone where he's not going to put it in play. And get that guy in. The breaking ball right. It's supposed to be on home plate if you can get it that way, but it went way out in front, and that one caught him in the mask or underneath, didn't it?
Shake the cobwebs out a little bit. Again, the Red Sox have the infield in. Alonso trying to drive home the 5th run of the night for Cleveland.
Follow it up with a high heater.
Yonder sends one down the line. Will it stay fair? Curling around the pole. It's caught by Mookie Betts, but tagging and coming home to score is Jose Ramirez, and it is indeed a 5-0 Indians lead.
I thought that had a chance to wrap around pesky pole down there, but it stayed true. It did not really hook.
Our Miller Lite hold true moment. Tonight it's Finn the Milkman. Melky Cabrera 3 for 3, a double in the second. He singled and scored in the 4th. And then the big blast that started the 6th inning.
See if the Milkman's got a triple in his truck.
I think it would be tough in this ballpark, especially with the speed that Boston has in center and in right field.
You need it to hook down that line, and maybe him trying to cut it off and it gets away from him and circles down there. You'd have to hit a line drive down the right field line. And he'd have to maybe misplay it a little bit.
He went downstairs trying to golf that one. Couldn't get it. 1-2. Now Yonder Alonso, you're right, he just missed hitting a home run. But again, Mookie Betts, the guy does it all. Offensively, defensively. He is a lot like Lindor in that they play great on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but you know what? The Indians got a run in this inning without a hit. The leadoff walk, you move them over, the sacrifice fly, and wow.
Well, that was called a strike, and the inning is over. Indians tack on a run, lead it 5-0. Stretch time at Fenway. Dyer takes over for Melky Cabrera in right field defensively. Shane Bieber comes back out for his 7th inning of work. He's been terrific. Through 5 innings, he had faced the minimum number of batters. How about that? The Eggman back in 1976.
I was there. I was there at that time. 21 years, 310 days.
You guys were just babies.
Yeah, he got on a roller where he had what?
Benintendi down the line. This is going to be another double for Boston. And maybe more. Benintendi hits second. He'll hold there with a leadoff double. 2nd inning in a row. A leadoff 2-bagger for Boston.
Yeah, he's going to go after the first pitch. It's a breaking ball down, and boy, he went down and hit a good one. But pulled it down into that corner. See how it gets stuck under that wall? Geyer was out there waiting for it to bounce and come to him, but it got caught underneath. And it deadened that ball, and he had to hustle to get in and hold him to a double.
You almost wonder if any 2 balls hit down that line react the same way.
Well, you're right.
You could go out there and practice, but
during the games,
know.
That's true. Depending on where it hits that padding.
In the hole, base hit left field. And Benintendi will stop at 3rd, and the Red Sox aggressively attacking Bieber here in the bottom of the 7th.
3rd time through the lineup, here they come. They say, we're not going to spot you anything now. If you want to throw strikes, we're going to get aggressive. So Yan Gomes wants to go out, and it's time to make an adjustment. But that was not a well-located pitch. The curveball, I think, that he threw to Benintendi was not a bad pitch because it was down, and the left-handers like him low. But that was not a good pitch, and out comes Carl Willis, and now they will get that bullpen up.
Let's pause right now for a word from Circle K.
Polar Pop Cup, just 79 cents every day, only at Circle K.
Adam Simber has grabbed a baseball, and he's getting loose in the bullpen. It's 5-0 Cleveland, but the Red Sox have something brewing now in the 7th. Xander Bogaerts to the plate. He is 0 for 2, but his last time up, he drove a ball to dead center field, and Greg Allen went all the way to the wall and made a great catch.
This is about when this ballpark wakes up. 7th inning. But they've got their work cut out. Bieber's been great to this point, but they have back-to-back hits here starting off the 7th. See if he can get himself another ground ball, and he'd be happy to get a double play and give up a run here.
Fastball, he attacks right down the heart of the dish. Bogaerts, unlike the first 2 hitters, not aggressive. Not chasing, but
maybe sitting
getting
on a
after
breaking
that
ball
first
there
pitch.
that time.
Could
too,
be.
You know? And he just went right at him with a heater.
To 3rd, it gets by Ramirez. And the Red Sox are on the board. And now they're going to move up. Both runners go to 2nd and 3rd. So that should not have happened, but it did.
Well, Frankie tripped down there, and we talked about it where that ball ricochets out. A shortstop has to make a play, and he just keeps it fair. It got under Ramirez, and it hits that wall. When Frankie went out to get it, he wanted to back at it, and he could have thrown the ball to 2nd base and might have had a chance at Bogaerts. I don't think he was going to get Martinez, but watch how he slips and falls down. See? Gives out, and he couldn't do anything. Michael was pointing to 2nd base. So that goes down. It'll be a double. They get the run in, and there is nobody out. So 3 straight hits now for Boston.
Now it's a matter of damage control for Shane Bieber.
Then you got Moreland up. And this crowd comes to life.
Fouls one back. It's 1-1. Tempting fastball, but Moreland able to lay off. 2-1. Well, third time around during the season to this point. Bieber's been really good, but the Red Sox, they haven't put up much of a fight until this inning. That's clobbered. That is way back. And Greg Allen makes a sensational catch over the shoulder. The Red Sox get a run home on the sacrifice, but I mean to tell you, Greg Allen just did his best Willie Mays impersonation. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to catch up to it. And it was a fastball. So they went right at him, and this is just a tremendous play because this is the only part of the ballpark where that ball can be caught. And he slides on it. Boy, that is just a great play to get that first out. And I'll tell you what, Bogaerts was thinking of scoring from second base. That was his first thought. And when he missed that cutoff, man, I almost thought they were going to do it. But Lindor was right behind the first cutoff man to get that ball, and that is a great play.
So we've got a timeout for a pitching change. Indians up 5-2. Greg Allen just made another phenomenal catch. He's made 2 4-star plays tonight. The Red Sox get their first 2 runs of the ball game. And they've got a runner at third with 1 out. Ian Kinsler, the batter. Adam Simber trying to slow down the Sox bats. And his pitch is low, ball 1.
Simber came on last night for 2/3 of an inning. He did give up a hit to J.D. Martinez, but he was able to get Bogaerts, and then he struck out Kinsler before his night was over. So you get Kinsler again. But boy, you know, the big that play right there was so huge for the Indians to get the first out of that inning. And even though it did score a run, it was a sacrifice fly. It got them there out. It slowed things down a little bit.
If he doesn't make that catch, 3 runs are home, and they've got a runner probably standing on third and nobody out. Outside, 2-1. Andrew Miller has a baseball up in the Cleveland bullpen. 3-1. Kinsler, then Eduardo Nunez. (3-1). And a weak ground ball hit to second. It'll get another run home, though. So Kinsler does his job And the Red Sox have clawed back to within 2. It's 5-3. Greg Allen, if you missed it earlier, this was in the 5th inning. And this was all-out hustle and effort.
I mean, right into the wall here. I mean, that hurt. That hurt the right arm he went in, but this play here was very special. I mean, on a dead run, looked like a wide receiver running down there, and he ends up making the slide and got it in quickly. He realized it.
Ground ball to third. It's going to go foul. Rarely, Arch, does an outfielder run over 100 feet to get a base.
I know, and still had room before he gets to the wall. That's the only part of this ballpark that could have taken place.
Eduardo Nunez hits a ground ball towards Kipnis. Jason's got it. And we'll go to the 8th. It's now Cleveland 5, Boston 3. As you know, anything can happen in 2 innings in this ballpark. Greg Allen has had himself quite a night. And he might have a chance to impact this game even further. He's due up 3rd here in the 8th inning. New pitcher for Boston is Tyler Thornburg. Thornburg worked a scoreless inning last night in relief. Fastball outside to Jason Kipnis, who is 1 for 3 and has scored a run tonight.
Thornburg for the 18th time. It's been this part of the lineup that's done the most of the groundwork tonight. Cabrera made the last stop, but Kip, he's got a hit. Gomes has 2. Allen has 2. Driven in a pair, and they've scored a pair. So.
I thought she had a baby. It's a dog.
She does. It's a baby dog. Little Maltese looking on.
Here's the 1-2, and Kipnis couldn't help himself. It's only the 5th strikeout by an Indians hitter here tonight. Hey, coming up on Training Camp Daily, guys will break down training camp surprises. We'll hear from Jarvis Landry. And Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, Tony Grossi will get you ready for the preseason game number 3 against the Eagles coming up Tonight at 11 on Sports Time Ohio. Yan Gomes 2 for 3. 2-out RBI single in the 4th. And then he singled and scored in the 6th.
Yeah, but the Indians have been able to get to that 5 mark here in Fenway Park, and I think that's what it takes at least if you're going to win a game in this ball year. 5. Well, they were able to do it last night, and so far they've done it tonight. Now they just got to hold on and get 6 outs.
Almost hit him. Looks like Andrew Miller will be coming on to pitch the 8th for the Indians. Gomes sends a high fly ball deep left field. Get up, and it is gone. A home run. Gomes climbs the green monster to make it 6-3 Indians. That's his 12th home run of the season, and it's Gomes' 3rd hit of the night.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you he's been on mark tonight as well, and that's a big one right there to give you that extra run. It's a breaking ball, and he goes down, and I mean, he hit a really good pitch. You give Yan Gomes some credit right there. He gets his 12th home run, and that one over the monster. And that's a big comeback run right there for the Indians.
Fastball is outside to Greg Allen. So Gomes having a good month of August. And I got Greg Allen on the leg. So the Indians will have a 1-out base runner now.
He's getting beat up tonight. Right elbow running into the wall, sliding, and now getting hit.
He can't feel
But
a
he's
thing.
on base again. He's feeling good, though.
Let's see. Actually hit him.
Let's see.
Oh, back of the knee. Right knee. Top of the order, Francisco Lindor, who is 0 for 4 tonight, just 1 for 8 in the first 2 games of this series. Up high, ball 1.
I love how this team is playing right now. With you look down and Lindor doesn't have a hit, Ramirez doesn't have a hit in this game, and they're leading by 3 runs. You know what I mean? They're picking up, they're doing their thing, and other people are chipping in and doing some work. A lot of good work too.
That'll even it up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Deck hitter Michael Brantley in the middle of everything. Looks like Pomeranz going to get up, and I can tell that because he's the only left-hander they have. We mentioned that last night.
Popped him straight up. Boy, Lindor and Ramirez have both been held in check by Boston pitching so far.
Well, you still got Brantley coming up now with 2 outs.
Well, Michael Brantley is 2 for 3 tonight and 4 for 7 in the series, with a double, a homer, a couple of runs batted in. In fact, 3 runs batted in so far for Michael in the series.
And he had the play overturned at second base, where you still would have had second and third there to end that inning.
And again, can't cry over spilled milk, but at least the replay angles that we saw initially, it wasn't clear and convincing, but there we did get a look at one replay angle later that I guess was convincing enough to overturn it. Brantley shoots one down the left side out of play.
Michael with his 38th multi-hit game tonight.
Allen drawing some interest from Tyler Thornburg. He's got his attention, that's for sure.
Well, he will, and they will pay attention to him because he's very good. He's stolen 11 out of 12, but this guy Thornburg's pretty quick to the plate.
Too high with the fastball, and it's 2-1. Now the 2-1. Brantley takes. That's in for a strike to even it up. Indians scored 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and another run here in the 8th. There goes Greg Allen, and Michael fouls it off. The Indians came into the game tonight having won 8 of their last 9, 15 out of 19. But Boston came in 50 games over 500, 88 and 38. There goes Greg Allen again, and it's fouled back once again by Brantley.
He's about 1-1 to home plate with his fastball. But you figure in that situation, let me start my runner. You steal a base, it's only going to take a base knock to score him. You've got a 3-run lead. Why not? You can be aggressive, especially when you have a guy that can steal a base. He's getting his wind sprints in now. Did you see him look up?
Yeah, he kind of threw his head to the heavens as if to say, "Oh, come on, man."
Yeah, put it in play. Right now, you're walking back saying, I hope he takes it off now. I don't feel like running this time.
Well, the problem if you're Allen is if he puts it on, if it's a ball, Michael's not going to swing at it. So you really got to go like.
You got to steal
it.
Yes, you got to think to steal it, and you hope. And the last 2 have been fastballs, which is a little tougher. See, he needed a breather.
Line drive caught, inning over. Yan Gomes with his 3rd hit of the night, up and over the green monster. It's 6-3 Cleveland. local Ford dealers. Shane Bieber on the big stage was pretty doggone good. 6 shutout innings, and then he gave up 3 straight hits to open the 7th. He left after he got the first out. The Red Sox would eventually score 3 runs, all charged to Bieber, but man, for the first 6 innings, it was a 2-hit shutout masterpiece.
It was a great first start at Fenway Park. He was beautiful, and I'll tell you, his offense helped him out because they had a really good approach against Eovaldi. A lot of cutters, a lot of breaking stuff, but they took advantage of it. So now it's up to Andrew Miller. Try and see if he can get his 3 outs, and Pierce is going to pinch hit again tonight for Leon. He did last night in the 8th inning, and he ended up getting a 2-out double. Just floated one over the head of Alonso at first.
There's a strike to even the count. Swung on and missed. Rick, because Miller was so dominant 2 years ago, and Andre and I were talking about this when we were walking in today. I'm sure a lot of Indians fans feel like maybe the key to the Indians postseason relies on Miller getting back to that kind of form. But the question is, it's a different team, it's a different bullpen, it's a different starting staff. They may not be that reliant on Miller to get back to that level. If he can just be good, maybe not that he was superhuman in 2016.
Well, yes, he was.
Or, 2016. Yeah.
Yes, he was, no doubt. But he's got to see right there. Did that hit him?
I think he missed him somehow.
He's got to get back to form where he can command his pitches and get that slider back, because that's one pitch. See, there's the slider that went behind him. That's why I thought that ball hit him. That's what he has to get back to, where he can command it and be consistent with it.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out.
Well, he came back and he did. You know, he's not going to get back to what he was in 2016, but he certainly can get back to being still very effective. And there's the slider. It's down, it's away, and it sweeps back over to the corner. And a right-hander can go after it and chase it right there.
Matt, I said to you yesterday before the series started, to watch Tito and how he used the bullpen was what I was looking forward to in this series. And seeing Adam Simber being brought in when he's been brought in, I said to Tito, that's 4 days in a row that you've gotten him up. And he said, I have to get him up because he says as a sinker baller, he needs the work. The more work, the better that he is. Now, he didn't know if he was going to use him today, but he's kind of said, I can't ride Andrew Miller through the playoffs like I did 2 years ago. But with Brad Hand, and if they can get Miller back to where they're at, and they can trust Simber, he feels like they can be more dominant if he gets those 3 guys set up right.
Oh, you're right. They're going to figure it out. They're going to figure out their combination that they're going to need.
Jackie Bradley 0 for 2 on the night. That looked like strike 3. Everybody was moving, but just a bit off the plate. And Bradley was able to lay off. Wow, that was close. Too close to take, I think, if I'm Bradley. But it didn't matter. He comes back and strikes him out with a big sweeper. Really slowed this breaking ball down. And that's back-to-back strikeouts for Andrew Miller.
Yeah, Bradley's a guy, he will not a good hitter against left-handed pitching, and he will chase, and he chased that breaking ball. So they get the first 2 outs. Bradley, a 172 hitter off of lefties.
Yeah. Now here's Mookie Betts 0 for 3. And Miller, he's got that fastball up to 94 miles an hour.
That's a key, too, getting that velocity back to where he can 93, 94 is good.
And a ground ball to Kipnis. Jason throws him out, and boy, Andrew Miller looking sharp tonight here at Fenway. Presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. We go to the ninth. And the Indians lead it 6-3. Left-hander Drew Pomeranz coming on for the second night in a row. He pitched a 1-2-3 ninth inning last night. And I believe it's Blake Swihart. Yeah, Blake Swihart takes over behind the plate for Leone.
Much like last night's moves from both teams.
Brad Hand is getting loose in the Cleveland bullpen, so it looks like he'll be called on to close tonight's game out. Jose pops one high and foul and over the roof on the left side of Fenway Park. There's Brad Hand. Yeah, Ramirez, you know, he helped to truly manufacture a run in the seventh inning. The Indians didn't have a hit in the inning, but he walked, he stole second, he went to third on a ground ball, he came home on a sac fly.
Bingo. And you know what? He got on base, and that's what he had to do in this series. Get on base. We still got 2 games left, but that's what he can do when he gets on. He didn't get a hit, but he stole a base. You move him over, you get him in. Little things like that. When you're an everyday player, that's what you have to do when you're not hitting. You have to do the little things. Make every play defensively.
Pomeranz misses low in a full count. Oh, I beg your pardon. That was ball 4.
So back-to-back walks.
Yeah,
for him.
And that's, you have to believe that's a good sign for him. Starting to take some pitches. You know, all right, let's get back to square one. That's probably what he was thinking to himself.
Yep. Maybe a little tougher to steal a base here with the left-hander on the mound, where you know he's been running at will. He got his 28th stolen base and retook the lead in the league as far as that department goes.
Now Yandy Diaz is 1 for 4 on the night. He singled in the second. He lined out to right in the fourth. Robbed of a hit in the fifth on a great play by Kinsler.
Yeah, he was robbed.
Back out of play. 1-2. And that's out of play. Boy, the way the Indians have played, they have just taken the 37,000 at Fenway and just hushed them.
Yeah, up until that 7th inning. And you know, when they got out and they got off to that good start, Allen's the one that put the squelch on that inning because he took them out of it and they got the first out and it stopped them from getting into the ball game. They did get their runs, but defense, you can make a great defensive play on the road that can take a crowd out of the game, and that did. You know, I was just getting ready to say that sometimes as a left-hander, when you've got a base stealer over there, sometimes you're better off not throwing it if you don't have a good move, because you know that runner's thinking that, okay, he's going to come over here one time or not. But no, don't give him a look at it if you don't have a good move. That's what we used to tell Cliff Lee when he was here. Don't keep throwing to first base if you're not going to pick them off or you don't have a good move. Just let them think you're going to come over.
Chopped up the middle. And Bogart steps on the bag, throws to first, completes a double play. That was pretty good. The key there was just timing the play up, and he did that very well. Hey, tomorrow night after Indians Live postgame, don't miss the Tribe Report brought to you by GMC. Andre sits down with Trevor Bauer. Alan Jensen have all the highlights from the Jim Thome jersey retirement ceremony and the GMC plays of the week. So 2 down for Yonder Alonso. Drove home a run with a sacrifice fly in the 7th. Moretz with the 0-2. And Alonso off the end of the bat to left field. Benintendi can't get there.
Like a beauty.
So Alonso gets his first hit of the night. And it keeps the inning alive with 2 down for Brandon Geyer, who came on for Melky Cabrera as a defensive replacement. And should be in the lineup, I would think.
Tomorrow, yes.
The next couple of days.
Well,
with
boy, I'll tell you what,
going.
that's a tough call. I don't know. As hot as Melky is, I would think about starting him in right field.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to take his bat out of the lineup
yes,
the way
he's
been swinging.
Absolutely right. I'd have a tough time not putting his name in. Look, you can have a platoon system, but that's not written in stone, and it's not 100% of the time. If your man is hot, you may have to stay with him.
You saw the graphic a moment ago. Geyer getting his first at bat tonight, but the 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters.
Oh, they've been great.
9 hits tonight.
Yeah, they have been absolutely great.
5 runs scored. They've driven home 4.
Elevated their game. That's what happened. There you go. Just trying to hit one out of here.
A 1-2. And Geyer pops it back out of play. 6-3 Cleveland. Last night, the Indians got the win, even though Boston out-hit them 13-7. Tonight, different story. The Indians have out-hit Boston 13-5. Back out of play. And the Indians have still used the long ball. That was the key for them last night. 2 more home runs tonight. But the story of tonight's game, as Rick alluded to earlier, and we showed you the graphic, the bottom part of the lineup producing.
Staying alive.
And there's a liner to third to end the inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up in Beantown. Brad Hand will try to close it out for Cleveland. Check out our Pat O'Brien Chevrolet plays of the game. The Greg Allen defensive show in center field tonight.
It really was an outstanding show by Greg. He went up and made a tough play, runs into that wall and took a little beating on that play. And I know he's going to feel it tomorrow, but this is the game changer right here. A sliding catch, runners at second and third, not an out in the inning yet. And I'll tell you what, that was that changed the whole momentum of this ball game.
That was a game saver.
Yes, it was. No question about it.
Still have 3 outs to go, though. And he's going to have to go through the heart of the lineup, he being Brad Hand. Benintendi, Martinez, Bogarts for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 9th in a 6-3 ball game.
Always helps if you can get that first out, too. You're coming into a save situation in this ballpark.
Yeah, Terry Francona joked after the game last night. He said, I don't know if I've ever had an easy 9th inning in this ballpark. He said, I'm sure there were a few here and there, but those aren't the ones you remember.
No, but you know, I think that the experience that he and that guy next to him, Brad Mills, has in this ballpark, and the time that they spend here, it certainly helps the Indians because they're not intimidated. As long as they keep the players, you know, calm, I think, as calm as you can.
Yeah. They take their cues from the manager.
Absolutely.
Tito said after last night's game, which ended 5-4, and couple of runners on base. He said, that's what's called holding on for dear life.
And sometimes you have to do that. As long as you come out able to hold on.
2-2 count for Benintendi. And Brad Hand struck him out, one away. You know, I was thinking about this when we were walking in tonight. And I was talking with a member of the traveling party, and we were talking about Brad Hand. And I said, you know, there's something about him. You look at him, you watch the way he conducts himself. I was thinking, it finally dawned on me. He could play like one of those assassins in a spy movie. Because he's just quiet. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he just has that look about him like, don't mess with me. Broke his bat. Lindor has it, 2 down. You know, like Cody Allen. Look, Cody Allen has done a phenomenal job in his career as the Indians closer. He's Indians all-time saves leader. And I loved what he said after last night's game, because, look, we've said it many times before. It's not how you get to the end of the line. It's do you get there? Can you walk from one side of that rope to the other without falling off? He said after the game, yeah, I can breathe a sigh of relief after throwing 27 pitches, and 20 of them were questionable. 7 of them were good.
Well, I got to tell you, that's what it takes to be a closer, is makeup and the guts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get that save, it's a mentality, man. And you know what? You can't be afraid to lose it. And if you do, you got to come right back and do it again. And he's been able to do that. And that's why you have to respect the guy. I know people at home are yelling, they're throwing things at TV. How can you bring him in, and how are you doing this, and let Brad Hand close? Hey, he's a closer, man, and he's got that mentality.
And it's nice, believe me, for Terry Francona to have 2 guys he knows he can trust and turn it over. Actually 3.
Yeah.
Andrew Miller's of the same cloth, too.
If you get him back, that'll be a nice 3-headed monster.
Swing and a miss by Xander Bogaerts.
Well, you remember Joe Borowski. He told us right up starting spring training, you may smoke a pack of cigarettes by the time I get done closing, getting a save, but I'm going to get the save.
Two down, bottom of the ninth, 6-3 Cleveland. 2 strikes on Bogaerts. Brad Hand lets it fly. It's a little low. Did he go? They appeal. He did not. You know that game that Al gave us an update on a long time ago?
Yeah.
It's 1-1 Yankees Marlins. They've gone to the 10th.
Okie dokie.
White Sox lead the Twins 1-0. They're in the 3rd. They had a rain delay earlier in Chicago. And a 1-2 pitch. Just a little low. Indians up 13 games on Minnesota in the Central. Largest divisional lead in baseball. Red Sox have the 2nd biggest lead. They were up 9 on New York at the start of the day. Brad Hand ready. 2-2 pitch. And he pops him up on the infield. Alonso and Kipnis. It'll be Kipnis who can't make the play. That's going to keep the inning alive for the Red Sox, and it gives those who remain here at Fenway a little life. This thing was up in the air for a long time.
Well, it was up in the air, but it's a routine play on the infield, and Alonso started with it, and I don't know if there's a lot of wind, but that ball blew back, and I don't see the flag moving, and that ball just ate him up. And it goes down, it'll be an error.
So now Boston gets the tying run to the on-deck circle as Mitch Moreland comes to the plate.
We'll have, keep it rolling, that's all. And now you see the crowd back into it. They were leaving.
Like that.
As soon as they saw that ball go up, there's some I saw go to the
first pitch strike. The runner goes to second. The Indians could care less. Moreland is the guy that drove the ball to deep center field in that 7th inning, and Greg Allen made the phenomenal catch on the warning track, diving onto the dirt. Blew it by him. It's 0-2. Two down, 2 strikes. And a foul back to stay alive for Mitch Moreland. And check of the runner at second. Gives him a second look, and the 0-2 up high.
slider, I think.
Time was granted. Fans are booing. It was your guy that called time. You know, Brad Hand, I've noticed that, though, when he comes to that set position, he likes to make that hitter wait.
Why would you?
Yeah.
You just, you know, just that little switch. And if you're a hitter, you'd be smart. And they don't know that yet because they haven't faced him a whole lot. Just last night, and that was only a few hitters.
Swung on and missed. Hey, struck him out to end the ball game. The Indians come to Fenway, and they've handed the Red Sox back-to-back losses. They win it by a final score of 6-3. And the Indians go to 73-52 on the year.